Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of KTN Live at 1. My name is Betty Callow. Now, 5 people have been killed in an early morning grisly accident that occurred at a Miti Moja trading center in Sobea near Nakuru town. The accident involved 2 lorries that had 7 people on board. 2 survivors of the accident are in hospital in critical condition. Confirming the incident, Rift Valley Traffic Commandant Mary Omari said the accident occurred after a lorry ferrying maize to Nakuru from Eldoret collided head-on with another lorry from the opposite direction. Omari said the accident might have occurred as a result of brake failure in one of the lorries.
Ni kama driver alisinzia kidogo, kwa sababu ukiangalia hii scene ya accident hakuna ushahidi kwamba driver alijaribu kukanyaga brake. Kwa hivyo tunaona ni kama hakukuwa na sababu yoyote ya kufanya huyu driver agongane na gari yenye ilikuwa inatoka pande ya Nakuru, kwa sababu ukiangalia ni kama aliingia kutoka pande yake akaingia pande ya gari zenye zinatoka pande ya Nakuru.
To matters education now, and the former Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers is now accusing current officials of mismanaging the union. Njeru Kanyamba claims the union does not have a valid constitution and the recent strike was called without the approval of the National Governing Council. The former Secretary General wants the current national officials to resign and a special delegates conference convened to conduct an audit of the union's management. Well, this comes as the KUPPET bodies fight to contain a mass exodus to the other teachers' union NUT after KUPPET members blame their leaders for being too quick to enter into a deal with the government over their strike.
And to arrest the situation and to restore confidence on the part of the members that have remained in the union, we are making the following demands. 1, that the national officials of KUPPET relinquish their positions forthwith. They resign and leave office immediately. That a special delegates conference of the members be convened immediately to conduct a forensic audit of the management of the union affairs, and possibly to create a caretaker committee to run the union until new elections are held. If they do not heed our advice, because we are elders, we will ask members to stop the payment of union dues to the union. And that is possible. If 5 members, just 5, go to court, they can stop the payment of the union dues to the union.
The government is summoning importers of fertilizers in a new push to review fertilizer prices to make fertilizer more affordable. Well, this came as the government announced that 600,000 bags of CAN fertilizer will land at the Mombasa port by Wednesday and will reach all farmers countrywide by July the 20th. The Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Felix Koskei, has given importers 2 weeks to present their recommendations on how to lower the cost of fertilizer. Speaking during a Thanksgiving ceremony at his home in Nandi Hills, Koskei said farmers have faced major challenges due to delays in distribution and the high cost of both planting and top-dressing fertilizer in the country. The government now plans to ensure that farmers get fertilizer by December ahead of the planting season to enable farmers prepare in advance.
Ni fertilizer inakuja kama imechelewa. Ni fertilizer hata ikifika ni bei ghali. We are aware of that and we are going to fix it. We have already discussed with the Sirius Board, Managing Director Sirius Board and the Managing Director Kenya Seed. Na tumekaa chini and we have resolved that hiyo problem itaisha.
A life of risk filled with uncertainties describes what life on the streets is like. Rehabilitation centers use various means to give a lifeline to children who are thrust into this life. Kwetu Home of Peace in Madaraka Estate, Nairobi, is using arts to transform the lives of street children. Well, KTN Sophia Wanuna attended one of their theatre performances where the former street kids showcased their talents as part of working towards a better future.
These children truly have a reason to dance. They have hope for a better tomorrow. They are confident. But this was not always the case. They once lived in the streets of Nairobi. No family, no shelter, and no food. Each day was literally a survival story.
Ilikuwa container ya M-Pesa. Sasa juu ilikuwa imekilia mama juu chini hivi. Sasa hapo kulikuwa na space. Sasa hapo tulikuwa tunalala chini. Tulikuwa tunakula leftovers. Lembo watu wamekula tunapewa tunakula.
14-year-old Clinton Odhiambo ended up in the streets after he lost his mother in 2007 during the post-election violence. Last year, he joined the Kwetu Home of Peace, a rehabilitation center for street boys based in Madaraka Estate.
Kwetu tunafundishwa, kwanza tunakuwa rehabilitated hiyo mambo ya street. Hiyo feeling tena ya kutaka kurudi street na hiyo hamu ya hizo dawa umetumia street zitoke. Alafu then tunaanza kufundishwa different activities kama band, acrobatic, dance, football, mambo mengi yani.
Lack of food at home is what 10-year-old Moses Wafula says made him go to the street. But after 3 months, he too joined the Kwetu Home.
Nilikuwa nyumbani, hakukuanga na chakula. Babangu hakukuwa, nilikuanga na mamangu peke yake. Sasa ndio mimi nikatoka nyumbani.
The home has had many success stories. Daniel Arika, for instance, is set to join Strathmore University later this year. For now, he's volunteering at the home, helping rehabilitate other boys. A living testimony of the transformation such projects can offer.
Kuna gum glue, kuna bangi, na kuna hii petroli ya ndege inajiita MC. Vijana wa mtaani wanaita MC. Sasa tunapatiwa madhara. Yaani tukivuta nini itatokea baadaye. After hapo tukaona hizi vitu yes tuko na talent, lakini venye tunavuta hizi vitu hiyo talent yetu inaenda chini. That's why tukaamua sasa kukuja kwetu na tukaachana na drugs.
It's unfortunate that they are on the street. You know, we think that they are bad children. That is why they are on the streets, but it's just a misfortune. It's not their wish that they are on the streets. It's not also their wish that they do what they do on the streets, because they have to survive. What we need to do for them is to help them.
But despite the new path in their lives, words such as these tell of the longing to be home with their loved ones. Sophia Wanuna, KTN.
Great potential in those kids. Let's now move on to South Africa, where Nelson Mandela remained hospitalized in a critical condition for a 4th week after doctors ruled out turning off his life support machine unless he suffered massive organ failure. The anti-appetite hero's condition was unchanged over this weekend, with news that he is in a critical but stable condition after his June 8th admittance for an obstinate pulmonary infection, which forces him to rely on machines to help him breathe. Meanwhile, his grandson's lawyers were planning to lodge an official complaint over a court document which they say falsely claimed that he was in a permanent vegetative state. A close friend of the former statesman had said turning off life support was discussed and ultimately dismissed. Many South Africans are worried over the health of the man they credit with bringing freedom to their country, as well as reconciliation following the demise of the race-based anti-appetite regime. Coming back home, leaders drawn from the Kamba and Somali communities have promised to work together to ease tension between the two communities at the border of Garissa and Mwingi in Kitui County. The leaders want an immediate disarmament exercise to ensure communities will not attack each other over resources. The leaders held a meeting in Mwingi County where they promised to increase the number of police posts in the region. In the past, there have been attacks between the Kamba and Somali communities over grazing land and water resources.
Bunduki ibaki na polisi. Maji tutawapatia, nyasi tutawapatia, lakini kwa ubinadamu, lakini si kwa lazima. Manake ile kitu imetendeka, na ndio sababu unaona hawa wananchi wamekazirika. Mimi nitakwambia, pengine wewe habari hauna. Hawa ndugu zetu wanakuja, wanaingia kwa shamba, Wakamba wakija kuambia tafadhalini, hii ni chakula msilishe, bunduki inapigwa juu.
Kupenda kwangu ni vipi tutajenga daraja Mkamba na mkaji ya Tana River washirikiane vile walivyokuwa wakishirikiana tangu hapo.
Hawa ni jirani zetu, na vile wazungu wanasema kwamba birth is an accident of time and place. Hakuna mtu aliweka akasema ningetaka kuzaliwa Tana River ama Ukambani huu wetu, si ni kweli?
And now to our weekly series, Survivor. Ever heard of the expression to pay it forward? Well, it is used to explain the act of giving. If someone has been kind to you, you pay it forward by being kind to another person, and they do the same. Those who believe in the act of paying it forward believe that if every single person did this, then the world will probably be a better place. Survivor series brings you the story of two women scarred by the Tana River clashes that are representing a population of Kenyans devastated by tragedy.
Preacher man, please have some faith. I've come to you 'cause I lost my way.
In her hands, she's rebuilding her future after months of ethnic conflict between Orma and the Pokomo since August 2012 to January 2013. It was a conflict orchestrated mostly by men, but it was the women and children who suffered most. On Friday, December 21st, 2012, just when Kenyans thought the situation had cooled in Tana River County, a group of men attacked Kipao village. That very night, 18-year-old Mariam was giving birth to her first child in Mwanja village, only kilometers away. Her and her husband thought to wait it out a few days from the safety of their home, but rumors of a raid at Mwanja changed their initial plans.
Tuliamka kwa Jumamosi tukaondoka pale. Tukakuja na hapa, tukakuja na mdao hapa. Hiyo mdao pia imepasuka ndani. Karibu tuanguke majini. Pale tulipotoka ni mbali sana na hapa.
They made it to a relative's house in Samicha. The village at the time was overwhelmed by internally displaced persons.
Kwa nyumba yenyewe tukaingia. Na hapa tulipo hata hakuna mahali ya kukaa. Wenyewe wametuombea matarabali moja, akapasua upande, akatutandikia tukalalia hapo. Tumekaa hapo mwezi moja na siku 7. Huyo mama ametujengea nyumba ndogo. Na hiyo nyumba ameomba nyumba wenyewe, akachukua hiyo nyasi akatandikia hapo. Na hiyo nyumba hajafinika kote. Huko jua inawaka. Sasa tuko hapa, hata hatujapata, huyo mtoto pia hajapata hata kliniki yenyewe.
Mariam and her husband have made a conscious decision to stay in Samicha. It is an Orma-dominated area and therefore, in a sense, a safer place to raise their daughter, or so they think.
Oh Lord, I've been very greedy. I would save money, I wouldn't help the needy.
Alfan Malibe.
Alfan.
Mimi huwa ni mkulima wa wakati asubuhi, naamka asubuhi naenda natengeza uji breakfast ya mzee, alafu najitayarisha nachukua mbegu naenda shambani.
On January 10th, 2013, the last wave of attacks took more than just her farm.
Ile siku imefanyika Kibusu, niliamka asubuhi na mapema nikamtengeneza breakfast, alafu nilimtandikia hapo nje. Alafu anatumia madawa, nikampea breakfast, nikampea madawa, akakunywa, akamaliza. Nikamwambia mimi naenda shamba, akasema ni vyema enda urudi. Ndio mapema urudi uje unitengenezee lunch. Kwa hivyo nikamtengenezea, nikamwacha hapo nje. Mimi nikatoweka. Hata shambani sikufika, mabunduki akaanza. Hakuweza kujidefend, mtoto wake ndiye ametoka na nyumbani kwake. Ndiye akamchukua, akamleta. Akamchukua akamficha kwa bathroom, ndani ya nyumba. Akamficha kwa bathroom. Ndio hapo bathroom wakamwingilia hapo ndani. Wakamaliza.
Unlike Mariam, Joanne does not have a husband to stand by her and her 6 children. She is at a loss of where to start to rebuild her life.
Wajue kuwa wale watu wamechomekewa na majumba, wamefelewa, wanahitaji msaada. Bali na kujengewa majumba, mtoto wangu nataka kusoma. Sina uwezo, sijui, sina kazi, sina matumaini ya wao yote. Bali na hiyo riski ya kula kwa kila siku, nataka wasome, manake ni msaada wangu wa mbeleni.
The Tana River clash has displaced thousands of people from their homes, and they now live in internally displaced camps. These people depend on the goodwill of well-wishers. People like you, the viewer, who donated old textbooks and T-shirts, help people like Mariam and Joanne to survive another day. Catherine Omwando for the Survivor Series.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Something worth reflecting on. Football Kenya Federation has become a house of cards, with the federation's top brass not reading from the same script anymore. Well, FKF National Executive Committee member Hussein Terry tore apart the federation by alleging that there was massive misappropriation of funds within the federation. The federation met last week and withheld the suspensions of FKF Vice Chairman Sam Shuley, NEC member Tom Mandela, and FKF Nairobi branch chairman Dan Shikanda, but he insists they were coerced into upholding the suspensions.
We were all elected, but unfortunately, it's a one-man show at the national office. Meaning, any issues about contracts to the companies, any type of contract, I, as Hussein, am not aware. Any finance issues, any money coming to the federation, or any money going out the federation, I'm not aware. I would like to request the national office to uplift the suspension of Cholet as well as Tom Alila, unless there are changes which the federation can do. Otherwise, I will not have any option rather than to resign.
And that dose of sports brings us to the end of this edition of KTN Live at 1. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Betty Callo. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.